Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in for episode number 11. We've got some really good progress this week. It doesn't look like a lot. It's a lot of the little minutiae of the details and things that we're trying to get sewn up here. So we do some work on brake lines today. I had a little thing, an oversight actually I went and fixed. And I'll show you what happened there and why it happened, whatnot. But a couple of really interesting little things that happened this week. We found an engine. And we found a transmission, and so things are happening. Now, I'm not going to embellish too much on what that means, other than to say that it was a very, very, very good purchase. So, that'll be a whole episode unto itself, getting the engine here and explaining what's going on with it, and what it means for this build. It's going to be pretty spectacular. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. And I hope you enjoy this one. Again, like some of the feedback I got from viewers was that you want to see a little more technical stuff. So I show a bit more of that. And I got my welder back, my little friend. Warranty, Lincoln, $2,000 part, and they fixed it for me. Very nice. Way to do a solid, Lincoln. Okay, hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you for episode 12. All right, here we go. Making brake lines. If you've never done this before, it is about as fun as waiting at the dentist. So I'm not really good at making brake lines. I must confess, all the brake lines I did on this car, I did twice, and in one instance, 3 times. So the double flares, it's not hard, but it's just there's a certain amount of patience, and you have to have made a few and failed a few times to make it right. But I digress. So I managed to get a couple lines done. You keen-eyed individuals, I love saying that, will notice that that brake line that you're seeing right there, the little one that looks like an S, gets replaced before the end of this video because it had a couple of extra little bends in it, and I just thought it looked crappy, and I thought, you know what, for 20 bucks I can get much better at this, and I'll just blow through a bit of brake line pipe. Interestingly, the assembly line back in Wolfsburg used to use, they would have just use their hands, and they would bend the stuff with their thumbs and move the stuff around. So all the elaborate tools that you can have and for bending it and forming it, and that stuff you might find in a concourse car, is really not necessary. When we took this car apart, all those brake lines they were done by a monkey. So it's really not anything that specialized. But there is a point where you want to make sure it kind of looks nice. I mean, even though no one's checking, you kind of want it to look nice. Yeah, what you're looking at here is the second iteration of that front brake line over to the passenger front wheel. I was met with some frustration in putting that thing together, so I did end up putting a nice flare on it, and it worked quite well. And then what I find you have to do too is once you tighten them up and get everything in place, you just massage them a little bit, get the bends a little prettier, take some of the bumps and things out of them, and even though you're not being marked on it, it doesn't hurt to have the thing sit properly. There we go. You need another wrench there, these things spin. Wow, Grant, why don't you show us how you make another brake line? So there I am using yet another flared end. Again, this is more just showing all the different brake line placements on the car. There's a neat little block at the back. It's got a 1 in, 2 out kind of fitting. This is the most primal brake system on this car that you could probably ever find in a car. Again, I hand bend it. Anywhere there's a a sharp edge. And I try to take a bit of slack. I made it a bit long with the intention, you'll probably see here where I bend it around, bending, bending, bending. It's just a shade long. So what I do is I do a little bit of an overbend, and then I do a little correction where it comes back on itself. So I'd rather have the line a bit long than have it short and having it not look straight and square and squared up at the frame. And again, this brake line, or this parking brake lever here was gave me no end of grief getting around it, but it came together, as you'll see here and here. And still doing it. I'm still fixing that thing there. Yeah. In reality, this took about 10 minutes. It was a lot of farting around, but it came together. Yep, one more little tightening here, and that's the whole back of the car done. A little piece me want to do that in slow motion and make it look like a strong Greek god was actually bending those lines and tightening with wrenches, but I chose not to. Probably just for the better of the channel, really. All right, on to the wheels. This car came with 5 wheels. We have a full-size spare, and that was actually the vessel that powered the windshield wipers. If you know anything about old Beetles, that's kind of a cool little option. So Bill is so gracious as to wire wheel all these things, and we hit them with the bead blaster. Just throwing a primer on there now. We go for a really cool kind of modern Toyota gray kind of non-metallic look. It looks really sharp. It's going to be a nice contrast with the black of the car. And there we are, the top coat. That's 2 coats on there, all set to go. All right, there we are. Bolts are all torqued up. Got the little paint on there indicating that. The front ones too. Anything that's been torqued is done. All the way down the side to the other driver's side torsion bar. All right, here's my follow-up I was alluding to with all my expletives and my emoji at the start. This is, these spindles went on, and what I didn't realize was that both sides aren't the same. So you have to do each top and bottom for both sides independently, get your measurements, and then shim appropriately. So I wasn't sure if I'd measured properly on both sides, so I went back, took the whole thing apart again, and remeasured. And it's a good thing I did, because I ended up finding that 3 of the 4 shim packs, or portions I guess, were in the wrong spot. So we're not in the wrong spot, they were just in the wrong number. So there I am, just punching those link pins out, and then I reset the shims, and it all comes back together again. This time I did it with a micrometer rather than with a ruler. Just that way it's a very accurate measurement. Made for a better result. And here's the chart I'm referring to right here, and these are the bushings, or the shims I should say, that you use to assemble the front end. Alright, so if you don't put this little bar in here, what happens is the pedals fall all the way forward and you end up losing your connection to the clutch cable, which is exactly what happened there. So after I did this and cleaned out all the threads and everything else, I had to take that whole works off and reconnect the clutch cable. So this is me doing this for the 3rd time now. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Again, thanks for subscribing and commenting on that. And so comes the end of another video. We'll see you for episode 12.